तस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। I'll do the slide, I'll do full screen. Okay. Okay, so today I'll be speaking about from fear to surrender. So first we will understand how fears originate. So first reference to fear comes in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita when Arjuna says that I am fearful, that sinful reactions will come on me. And then second chapter, fear comes when Krishna says, those who run from fear, bhayadana duparitam, that if you will run away from fear, then people will not appreciate you and they will consider you as insignificant. So basically, this indicates two aspects of fear. So fear is an emotion which arises from various directions. And so one question comes whether we can overcome all types of fear or not. So anybody has any thoughts? What do you think? Whether we can overcome all our fears? Any thoughts?
Can you repeat? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
So my question is whether we can overcome all our fears.
I would say no, we're not able, but with prayers and guidance from mentors and seniors, we can overcome some, but I think fear does still lingers.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Yeah, true. Actually, we can't fear all our fears are never meant to be overcome because if we look at it, fear is an essential protector from the danger. Suppose if someone is on 100-story building and he looks down from the balcony, and if he don't feel dizzy, fearful, and so he may feel like there is nothing. He may feel like jumping from that. So basically, fear is not a palatable emotion, but it is essential because it protects us from danger. And if fear is not there, so someone can foolishly rush into dangerous situations. So, and so there are two types of fear, healthy fear and unhealthy fear. So, basically, healthy fear is to protect us and it warns us. And our body is also designed to function according to particular limitations. So, our body needs particular temperature, particular nutrition, and if these are not provided, then fear warns us. I should not be doing like this. And when we are hungry, also, then also there is some type of dissatisfaction and a pain of hunger is there. And but even before that comes, if prospect of hunger comes, if fear comes, then basically a prospect of fear comes that I don't want to be hungry and I don't want to be thirsty. So it acts as a protector in that sense. So that's why all fears are not meant to be overcome. So there is a difference between fear and fearfulness. So basically, it is a warning about the danger, and I feel that it is positive because if there is no danger and still I fear, then I am being fearful and it is undesirable. Example, I gave about 100 story building, and if a person uh, so uh, now I'm telling the difference between fear and fearfulness. So if a person he came from a he looked down from a 100 story building and he came back home, and now he's sitting in his room comfortably, and now he is thinking, oh, that it was so fearful, it was so dizzy drop looking down from the 100 story building, and so many things. And basically, when there is no danger, but fear is there, so then it is fearful. And fearfulness is undesirable. Fearfulness is something which we need to deal with. So, Krishna talks about fearfulness in chapter 18. Basically, he says he talks about determination in the mode of ignorance. In 1835, he says, Yaya sapnam bhayam shokam vishadam agnevacha na vimuchyate durmeda dhriti sapartha tamasi. So translation is that determination which go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion. Such unintelligent determination, O son of Pritha, is in mode of darkness. So yaya swapnam. So basically, when one is imagining, oh, this will work out and this will be wonderful, and then if this does not work out, I need to do this and all. So bhayam basically is when we become paranoid, overthinking in a negative way, and this may go wrong, that may go wrong. If this happens, if he says this to me, that to me, and swapnam and bhayam, they both signifies ignorance. In fact, determination, uh, Krishna says it is determination in the mode of ignorance. So, determination is normally considered as a positive, because if somebody is falling the cliff and if he holds a rope, it may be painful, but still they have to hold on the rope tightly because that is the way they can save their life. So that is the determination. But suppose I am sitting comfortably and I am holding to a rope that is very sharp edge, pointed, and is very thorning, hand is bleeding, and people are saying, let it go, and I'm still holding, and that is painful and foolish. So determination means holding on something even it does not feel good, because uh, uh, it, because it is for good. So opposite of determination is obstinacy. And obstinacy means holding on to something even if it is bad. When we become fearful, that time it is not pleasant situation. Still somehow mind holds on to, and mind goes on in overthinking. What if this happens, that happens, and so on. So mind is holding on to the negative thought pattern which is hurting us. So Krishna is saying that that is the determination which is in the mode of ignorance. And which Krishna says, Dhriti Sapartha Tamasi. So basically, there are two terms in psychology. illusion and hallucination. And illusion is when there is some object which is perceived wrongly. That is illusion. And illusion means there is some stimulus. Example, I think somebody is there in the room, and then I turn on the light, and then I see nobody in the room. Uh, so fear can arise because of various reasons. So one is the fear is the indicator of danger, that is healthy. But even in the absence of danger, when fear comes, then fear is unhealthy. For example, student has an exam and he has to prepare, and if there is some fear, what if I don't do well, and if I don't do well, if I fail, so that these emotions then become dominant, and then he goes into that, if I fail, if I don't get good marks, I will fail, and I will not get a good job, and what will happen to my life? My life will be ruined, and whole fantasy, negative fantasy basically starts. So basically, when mind becomes paranoid and constantly thinking about things, this may go wrong, that may go wrong, and so we end up become uh, paralyzed at one level, because it cripples fears cripples us from normal functioning, and cripples us from doing anything. So so healthy fear is, if I am driving on the road, I am aware that I don't have to go beyond the speed limit, and I don't have to break traffic rules. Otherwise, some accident may happen. And unhealthy fear is that if I start thinking, what if I drive and accident may happen, and this, that, and then I don't drive, and then that is basically unhealthy fear. So fear, like I told, it prevents us from normal functioning, and so so what I told was from basically a very practical perspective: healthy fear, unhealthy fear. And so if we go into the philosophical perspective, we know that everyone is part and parcel of Krishna, and so Krishna is Satchidanand, Ishvara Parama, Krishna Satchidanand Vigraha. Uh, Krishna is Parama Ishvara. He is the Parama Ishvara. Ishvara means controller. He is the main controller, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. So we also have tendency to control things. So we are like mini controllers. So and if we look at our lives, so basically we have to control certain things to function properly. So example, if a pilot is driving a plane, and he sees that all the parameters are functioning properly, so there is safe flying, safe takeoff. So in that to some extent, he need to just control little bit of functioning, and then autopilot, and he needs to make sure that everything is in control. So 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 we also have a need to control, but we have a limited capacity to control. So pilot can control the plane, but if the plane malfunctions, and if atmosphere is very stormy and turbulent, and if some terrorists hijack the plane, and there could be many possibilities uh, which may cause plane to not reach its destination. And for many of these possibilities, pilot can't do much, and for that sense, uh, he can't control, and because he has a limited capacity to control, And because we have a limited capacity to control, and that is the main cause of our fear. So we all know about false ego. Because of our ignorance, we have this false ego, and because of this false ego, avidya, there arises a need to control. And so if we look at Upanishads, Mahabharata, so they talk about the four activities: eating, mating, sleeping, defending. Ahar, nidra, bhay, maithun, cha. So in these, the common denominator is fear, and defending is the reaction to fear. So if somebody has a feast in front of them, and but if they have some threat, they won't be able to eat, they won't be able to sleep, they won't be able to mate. So fear is a common denominator in these four. So English translation of Pra- Prabhupada translated this as defending. So, aha, nidha, bhaya, maithun, cha. But Sanskrit translation is bhayam. And so, bhayam is the response to bhayam, or fear is the response to defense. So, actually, we need all these biological functions are essential for us to maintain our body. So we need food, we need place to stay, and so like animals also do all these four things: make arrangement for themselves, security, and so we also do it in a sophisticated way. For us, for our security, we make arrangements for finances, etc., nice home. So all this is in response to fear, and so that our eating, mating, sleeping may not get lost. So fearing is the common denominator of the material existence. And in today's world, fear has become much more, and there are a lot of people who are suffering from mental problems, and mental health issues have increased a lot. Technologically, so we are able to do so many things, and just pressing few buttons, we are uh, we are able to get so many things done, uh, flying planes, driving cars, and so many things. So basically technology has enhanced the way we can control things, but however technology doesn't change the way we live, because technology changes the way we think actually. Because we had because of the advancement in technology, we mentality has become that we have the greater capacity to control, and technology has created this thought process within us that we are the controllers, or we can be the controllers. And greater the belief that we are the controllers, greater and greater is the insecurity that we cannot control. So, at a psychological level, the insecurities, anxieties we face in the world, because we have the greater notion that we can control. Every relationship begins with the promise that we will be the controller, and every relationship gives us realization that we are not the controllers. So that's how life moves forward, and we try to control many things, and not many things are in control. But more the illusion that we can control, the greater the agitation that we can't control. And at a certain level, so in today's world, notion is that we are the makers of our destiny. Of course, we do make our destiny, but alone we don't determine the results. So at one level, it appears that we are the makers of our destiny. Uh, so the more hard we work, better results we may get. But So this may be a very empowering idea, but at the same time, this also can be a very burdening idea. So if I am alone the determiner of my success, then it means I am alone the determiner of my failure also. And but the simple fact is that every situation is life in this life is beyond my control, and because Bhagavad Gita also Krishna talks about that result doesn't, the sole factor of result is not us. There are five factors on which result depends. So a student may prepare wonderfully for the exam, but if student falls sick before the exam, or a team may prepare very practice wonderfully for the cricket World Cup, but if before the World Cup important player is injured or some other thing happens, so we can say that in the life there are many things which we cannot control, and to the extent we think we alone determine results, and to that extent we suffer fear and distress when we can't control. And this is just not on the level of sports or studies, but this is much more at the level of our mind. And when mind becomes disturbed, thinking that this can go wrong, that can go wrong, and so at one level, it is our responsibility to try to get things right. But at other level, it is also our responsibility to recognize certain things that are not in my control. So in our Anarth Nivritti classes also, we daily recite the serenity prayers, that Krishna give me the serenity to change what I can change and accept what I cannot change. Also, we all know that Lord has six opulences: power, beauty, wealth, strength, knowledge, renunciation. And among these six opulences, uh, people are attracted by wealth, beauty, fame, strength. So all five opulences. So people are attracted. So people are also attracted by renunciation. So so not directly people are attracted by a renunciation, but still it is considered as a one of the six opulence. Actually, people are not directly attracted to renunciation, but actually they are attracted to the fruit of the results of the renunciation, which is peace, which is calmness. So everybody likes those who are very peaceful, who are very calm, very composed. And so we always have a question in our mind: how can they say so much calm, so much in peace? So people always admire. So in a way, we may not be attracted to the renunciation, but the result of renunciation, which is calmness and composure. So we are attracted to that. And calmness is opposite to fearfulness. So Krishna has this opulence of renunciation, and that means he is not at all agitated, or he is not fearful. And so for us, fear may arise because of the notion that we are the controllers. So intelligence means to recognize that there are things in my control that I can do best of my capacity, but also to recognize at the same time that certain things are not in my control and I have to just let them go. And this idea of letting go is something many people they struggle accepting that. And I want to hold on things. I want to be the controller. I want to try to control things. I want people to behave in certain way. And for me, this relationships, my husband means this, wife means this, daughter means this. So many boxing. So it is all trying to control them, that they should behave in this way. Otherwise, I am agitated. Otherwise, I am fearful. Otherwise, I am insecure. So, so this root cause is that because we want to be try to be the controller, and this happens at a very subtle level. And mind gives all the reasons to justify I am doing this, that because I am their well wisher. I want them to behave like this because it is for their benefit and all. So we are thinking in this way, but at a certain level, there is insecurity, there are fears, and if we go underneath, so reason is that because we try to be the controller, and the 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 less situations are out of our control, the more anxiety, fearful comes. So, in Texas, basically 25 years ago, I heard that a huge fire broke out. And one person was on the helicopter and he was looking at a bigger picture. And there were 10 firemen inside the forest. And so they had all their equipments, extinguishers, cans, and so many things. So the person who was in the helicopter, he was able to look at the bigger picture, and he told them, all of them, to just drop everything and run out of this forest. So, so 10 were inside the forest, and so out of them, as soon as the five firemen, when they received the orders, they dropped everything and they ran out. And the five of them thought, at least we should carry our fire extinguishers. So in case we are going out and fire basically goes beyond our control, so at least we could save our lives. So, so when they were, so those five who basically carried their fire extinguishers, so they all were found dead in the forest. So, basically, when they located the bodies, they found they were just 10 meters away from from just coming out. If they would have dropped the extinguishers, they would have been saved. So, so basically, so when we are talking about fear, uh, that here there are things which may go out of control, and at that time we also need our inner strength to accept that I can't do it anymore. And if we don't do it, then fear increases, and more fear increases. So inner strength, or we can say that um, the power of bhakti should be there to accept things. So if power of surrender to Lord should be there, and that only gives us inner strength to accept things and let go of things. So if we don't do this, then fear increases and more, because if I am in a car and car is going out of the control and brakes are also failed and there is a cliff, and till the last moment I try to control the car. So what will happen? Car will, if I don't do anything, car will go off the cliff and I may die. But at a particular time, if I accept I can't control the car, So I open the door and I just jump out. So maybe with little bit of injury, I am saved. So, like I'm talking about these are the physical situations where which we can understand that uh, so we have to accept that I can't control beyond this, and then I have to let go. So same principle is applied at the level of our mind also. So that is this so that if some things so in some situations person should behave in a certain way that so in some situations controlling maybe austerity for someone, and in some situations releasing the control maybe austerity for someone, and maybe that is the service for us to do in those situations. So like fan is there, it gives cool air because it moves round and round, but our mind is not like that. If we goes on overthinking, it goes round and round and makes us so messy, so hot. So basically when we understand philosophically that we are not meant to be the supreme controller, and we are the just tiny controllers, and we are meant to use our controlling capacity in the service of supreme lord, so as a krishna servant. And sometimes we can exercise control, and sometimes we have to release control. So both in the service of krishna. And if we understand that if we have this understanding, then we will not get overwhelmed with fear. Otherwise, there will be hallucination and illusion. I talked about this before. So so I think many of you may have heard about this frog story. So a woman went to a doctor and said that I have a frog in my belly. And doctor said, no, no, there is nothing there. Go home. So she went to next. She was not convinced. Same thing. Then she went to a 10th doctor and she told the same story. And doctor said, oh, I believe you. Yes, there is a frog in your belly. So then they gave her anesthesia, and then he told the nurse to go get a frog, and it's all there in her mind. And so when she is out of that anesthesia, and then doctor told, look, there was a frog in your belly. Now we have taken it out, and now you are perfectly all right. Now you can go home. So then she went away, and 1 week later, she again came back. Oh, doctor, again, the frog has given babies in my belly. So what happens is mind imagines problems, so changes at physical level may not solve our problems, because the mind becomes habituated to fearing. And when there is external danger, we deal with the danger and it goes away. But mind becomes habituated to that fearing, even if original danger was not there, and even when the perception of imaginary danger is there, so fear remains. So, so whatever the point is, whatever we think and we act, that gets imprinted on our consciousness, and that we call as impressions. And if somebody is very nervous and fearful, somebody is worried. So if we tell them, don't worry, be cool, for some people it may work, but for others it may not work, because for them it has become a habit, and it will not calm them down. And so uh, so telling them don't be afraid, or you are a coward, will not help them, because mind basically is working in a particular way, and uh, it needs a more substantial solution. So that's why bhagavad gita talks about uh, the three modes of material nature. three ways in which our mind functions. So we can basically relate to it in a like waterfall. It has three channels. So three modes are like three channels, and consciousness is like a flow of water. So when water is flowing in a particular channel, and if we tell why water is flowing in this particular channel and why not in that channel, because water is already taken this path, and it's not easy to change the course of its path. So modes are basically like the pathways in which our mind basically our mind works, our thoughts flow, and if somebody is in the mode of ignorance and passion, then modes affect that person accordingly. And if mode of goodness, we understand some things, that some things are in my control, and so some things are not in my control. So I can focus on that which are in my control. So in mode of passion, we think that everything is in my control, and we are so passionate, so many desires, so many hankering, and so and so many things we have started. So in a lecture, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was saying that some people make things happen, and some people watch things happen, and some people wonder what has happened. So those who make things happen, they are in mode of goodness, because they do certain things, and certain because they do certain things and certain things get done. And others who are in mode of passion, they try to do one thing and then do other thing. They are passionately running here and there. I have to do this, I have to do that. If this may go wrong, if that may go wrong, they're trying to do 10 things at the same time. And so they are watching that this is happening, that is happening. So, and some people are lost in their own ways, not knowing what to do, where to start. So basically, three modes, there are different ways in which mind works. So for the person in mode of ignorance, if you tell them, don't worry, stay cool, things, this will not help them, because, like I told, mind has a habit of working in a particular way. So basically, in the mode of ignorance, there are two things: fearfulness in ignorance and fearlessness in ignorance. So So basically, courage does not mean that there is an absence of fear. So a person basically, fearfulness in ignorance means that when we are lost in so many hallucinatory thoughts, and that a person is not aware of danger. For example, if somebody is drunk, and he is going on a road, and so there are the crowded roads, so many vehicles coming from both the sides, and he is like, "Oh, I'm not, I don't care and all." So, this is basically fearfulness and ignorance. When there is danger, but he is not aware. Uh, so, and fearfulness and ignorance is basically when one person is too much dependent on the material world, and he wants to enjoy, but he feels fearful because he can't do things, he can't control things, and because he wants to enjoy, so he will be fearful, how I will do this, how I will do that. So what happens if this happens, and the result is anxiety. And fearlessness, there is also fearlessness in ignorance. So it is also the fearlessness in ignorance is also the basically almost so same thing only, because like you can see in this picture, So there is a danger still because eyes are covered and he's blindfolded. So he's not able to see the danger. So he's moving on. He says, I don't care. So this is fearfulness in ignorance and fearlessness in ignorance. And both are basically dangerous. And there is one more thing, fear, uh, fearlessness in knowledge. So when there is a danger, but if because somebody has that knowledge, and so I can explain it with an example. If somebody is going on the road at the night, and if he sees some giant thief, and he becomes fearful, but just walking few steps away, he sees a giant policeman. So all his fear vanishes because he has uh, uh, because he has something big and which can protect him from that danger. So when we are in knowledge, so knowledge of who we are part and parcel of Lord, and the that knowledge basically gives us fearlessness, which we can and that knowledge we can basically help us in dealing many situations in our life, because that knowledge give us awareness that who we are, and we have a problem may be big, but situations may be out of control for me, but I have Lord, and these all things are situations are given by Lord just to help me to grow out of them, to look at my fears, to face them, and grow out of them, come out of them. And so we can, by knowledge, if we see hand of Lord in every situation, we can see that even though it is out of my control, but it is still in control of Krishna. So, in the mode of passion, so sometimes we need to release control. So don't try to control everything that is causing you fear. So try to let go, and in the mode of goodness, we can see that person can see that all the that certain things are in my control. And so when we move from passion to goodness, and from goodness to transcendence, we can understand that certain things are not in my control, and it is in Krishna's control. And perceive, as we perceive that, we can function more effectively, because we do what is in our control, and rest we leave to Krishna, and that is the mood of bhakti. So that's why we say, Bhajore man Shri Nanda Nandana Abhe Charna Vrind Re. So when we fix our mind on Krishna, we become fearless. And how it happens? Because our in our subconscious mind, when we are worried, agitated, we come to temple, we take some darshan, we start feeling some peace, and we think there is something special here. And because this happens to us at a subconscious level, that by just coming in the proximity to with Krishna, we feel our fears going away. However, this may not happen every time. And if we analytically understand how it happens, then we can replicate it more. So when we fix our mind in Krishna, so we know that it frees us from fear. What does it mean is that, so that in the mode of ignorance, passions, or goodness, so uh, from that, if we move towards transcendence, then we are situated in two understandings. First understanding is that I am meant to be the servant, and I am the servant of Krishna, and I am meant to serve Krishna. And second understanding is that Krishna is always in control. These two understanding comes together and frees us from unnecessary fear. So even I have a fear that I may lose my job, some health problem happens, or this may go wrong, that may go wrong. But still, if I am servant of Krishna and I will keep serving Krishna, and if if I'll keep serving Krishna like this, so then to an extent I will be fearless. But if I think I want to serve Krishna in this way, or if I want to serve Krishna in a certain way, then I will be frustrated and it will be difficult for me to serve Krishna, because I'm not identifying as a servant, and I'm identifying with a role in which I want to serve. And more we understand we are servants, and there are different roles in which I can serve Krishna. Uh, that uh, and there are different roles in which I can serve Krishna, so that frees us from the anxiety. Even things are going wrong, and if we have that understanding that Krishna is the supreme controller, and that brings peace, and that everything is happening for is in every situation, if I'm able to see the hand of the Lord, and everything is happening for the uh, is for happening for my good. And even if bad things also happen, and so then also, if we have faith on Krishna, that Krishna can bring out good, bring out good out of that bad also, because Krishna has the expertise to do that. So as a devotee, when we see Krishna is in control, and that we are, and that does not mean that we will never be fearful, because fear will come. But when fear comes, what we can do is, we if we fear comes and we go on that overthinking patterns, and then more and more fear, more and more anxiety. But if we see hand of Lord in that situation, and if I say that Krishna is my benevolent Lord, and I'm servant of Krishna, and he wants me to learn some things and grow out of it, then my fear will decrease, and my faith will also increase on Krishna, and that situation will become more manageable to me. And in Bhagavad Gita also, Lord says, Mat chitta sarva durgani, mat prasada tarishyasi. Lord says, if you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of the conditioned life by my grace. So when you become conscious of me means, when I understand that Krishna is my well-wisher, and so let me try to serve him the way, the way, basically, in my being, in my servant identity, not the way I want is pleasing to me. When I serve Krishna, so then I am able to handle the excessive agitation of mind and excessive fear, and I'm able to move forward, and I'm not paralyzed in that situation. So yeah, so I think, so yeah, I've already told this, what it means. Yeah. So I think I'll stop here for now. If somebody wants to add anything, and some comments or discussions, you can go ahead now.
Thank you, Nitya Kishori. My question was something regarding with this preparation for the class. How would how could we hand over our fears to Krishna in the context of step 7, 8, and 9?
Thank you, Mataji, for your question. So how would we hand over our fears? So it's a very good question, and I think what we are doing in our Anarth Nivritti sessions, that all these step work we are doing, starting from step 1, that if I'm able to see that certain things are in my control and certain things I am powerless, which is step 1. if I'm able to do that, because more I'm trying to control things, more I have that mentality that this person should behave like this, or this situation should go like this, other persons should appreciate, or this or that. More we have that mentality, so more there will be agitation, more there will be fear. And so best way is to go deep inside, look what is the root cause of fear. Sometimes some childhood traumas may be there, sometimes some incidences may have happened. To go beyond, look deep inside and contemplate that that I am in this situation and I feel fearful, and this fear is arising because something happened, something in the past. Is this fear coming from there, or I am anxious about future, what if this happens? So we have to look at the root cause. Then what is in my control? If I do some things, and if I can change the situation, then I should do that. But if some situations I'm completely helpless, I'm completely powerless, things are not in my control, so then at that situation we have to accept, I can't change it. And then with that consciousness that Krishna, I am powerless, I can't function beyond this. And with that, with bringing humility in ourselves, because to accepting the situations, we have to have that humility, because it's really a struggle. Sometimes some people can't accept, because they, like I gave an example of a car, if it is out of my control and brakes are failed, at a certain point of time I have to jump out of it before it just falls off the cliff. So I have to that particular situation I have to accept. Now it is not in my control, I can't do anything. And so let me accept that and do my actions, and let me hand it over to the Lord. And so in this way, I think when we accept, we have that humbleness to accept. When we are we do best of our capacity, and we when we think that now I can't do anything, then we can pray to Lord to give us intelligence to handle the things. And that time, with a mood of surrender, now Krishna, I with all my fears, all insecurities, I just hand it over to you, and you take it from there, so that I can function. You give me intelligence to function, so that I am not paralyzed, and I can learn and I can grow out of this situation. So yeah, thank you, Mataji. So this is just my understanding.
Yeah, I love the answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mataji. I think we can stop here now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.